Hello, Wilkes-Barre Strand Knights fans. Andrew Mossberg's joining you again. This time we're not doing a Coach's Corner. We have an exclusive video here for you on WBS Knights YouTube with NAHL Assistant General Manager and the Head of Scouting, Justin Schreiber, is in all the way from Lincoln, Nebraska to join us here in the Keystone State. Justin, welcome back to Pennsylvania.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And so we have a lot to talk about. First time, actually this is my first time even getting to meet you in person since joining the team a couple months ago. Team right now hasn't been where they'd like to be. It's been a few losses as of late, and you actually end up making a decision there to use your first tender of the season to acquire forward Aaron Hamill. We have another forward to talk about in a couple minutes, but first let's start with that tender. What makes Aaron Hamill an attractive option for the Knights, and why did you elect to use that tender?
Well, I mean, first of all, where he plays is the biggest thing. You know, we have a great relationship with Meyer. The Meyer Youth Organization. It's where Sasha's from, Tyrone, Zach Curry. Am I leaving one off? I think I am. Oh, Brett Postula.
Okay.
All of those guys played for Meyer and the coach there, Brian Sherry. So, you know, we usually, you know, we kind of have the pipeline there now, and I trust Brian to develop guys and to get him where he needs to be to play junior hockey next year. As far as Aaron goes, super skilled kid, you know, a little undersized, but he plays with some jam and plays with an edge, which I like. And, you know, he just really fits our style. You know, we can be a little bit run and gun, and, you know, you have to be able to skate and have to have good puck skills to play for the Knights. So, you know, he kind of encompasses all that. So.
I think when looking at his stats, too, he had 25 goals last year with Meyer, and then he had 6 points in 8 games this year before being tendered by the Knights. You mentioned size. He's 5'9", gets a smaller guy, but he also plays with a little bit of an edge. Plays a little gritty style of hockey.
Yep.
Is there a mold for forwards and defensemen and goaltenders that you look at? Obviously, GM, but you're a scout too. Do you look for hey, this player to a T fits our criteria?
Yeah, you know, we have, you know, Whitey and I, you know, have a certain number of things that we look at in terms of players. First things first, you got to be able to skate to play for the Knights. If you can't skate, you know, you just really don't fit our style because we like to get up and down and play fast. And then hockey sense is a big one for us. You know, we look for smart players, guys who know where they need to be on the ice and, you know, responsible in their own end and you know, how to play without the puck. And that's probably the biggest thing that players struggle with jumping from youth hockey to junior hockey is, you know, they're usually the best player on the ice, and you know, they usually have the puck on their stick a lot. So, you know, learning to play without the puck and supporting the puck is a big thing for us. So those are kind of the two big ones we look at in terms of all our positions, forward and defenseman.
Right.
For sure.
You know what, I was going to say, former Knights assistant coach Kerry Huffman, who's now the assistant with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, I got a chance to interact with him a lot last year, and he used to always talk about it's what you do without the puck that sometimes matters more than when it's on your stick. And you talk about a mold for players. Well, there's two different guys we talk about, quite different in terms of size, in terms of their play. So we talk about Aaron Hamill, who you offered a tender to. Knights also made a trade in the same week, acquiring forward Anthony Mastromonica from the Johnstown Tomahawks. This guy is 6'3", he's over 200 pounds. First thing that jumps out to you is size when you look at his stat sheet. Is that what you see and why you select him? Yeah,
I mean, you know, we know what, you know, Coach Whiteside and I knew Anthony from scouting. He played at South Kent Academy, which is a very prestigious team out here on the East Coast. So we knew of him and knew him, knew his game. So, you know, as we kind of looked to, you know, get off this 7-game slide here, you know, we looked at all options that were out there and decided that, you know, he fit our mold the best. You know, he has that kind of unique combination of size and skill. And, you know, I think he's going to be a really good fit for us and something that, you know, we may be missing a little bit in terms of, you know, guys that are big and play with an edge, but, you know, can also chip in offensively a little bit.
I think, too, you're always looking to upgrade your team regardless of where you sit in the standings, but with the way things have gone as of late, did you feel any pressure that you had to do something to make a change?
No, not pressure, no. You know, I think we all three of us in the room, believe in the roster that we have and, their ability. The thing that with our recruiting strategy as far as, we go after young, high-end players, which some teams go after older players, junior experienced players, that kind of thing. We've kind of committed to the strategy of going after young, high-end players. And sometimes those guys take a little bit of an adjustment period to get ready for junior hockey. I wouldn't say we felt pressure to make a move, but the right opportunity presented itself, and we decided to jump on it, and hopefully he fits into our lineup well and can help us get better. And as those young guys kind of adjust to junior hockey, I think we're going to be a good scary team to play, and and a team that teams in our division aren't going to want to play in January.
Right. And not to point any fingers at teams, but you talk about building a young nucleus and a core here. I've talked with our assistant coach, Josh Fusco, who's in charge of the EHL team, and you look at a team like Johnstown, for example. And again, not to point fingers, even though we're going to. That team is almost all 20-year-olds. Mm-hmm. That team is almost all exclusively in their final year of junior eligibility.
Sure.
So right now, they're putting a front-heavy team. They're taking the division by storm. But you guys are building something that I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is more of a look as this is a multi-year project that these guys could be good for not just one season. They only have a shot at making the playoffs just 1 year. It could be 2-3 years here. And on top of it, in junior hockey, I feel it's hard because you're trying to win as a team, but individual performance is so important too, because college commitments and NHL draft talks are key for these guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of our strategy. We think that we'll have, some of these guys for multiple years. Obviously our goal is to get them to the USHL and Division I, and move them up. And development is kind of what we hang our hat on, and what we've done really well in our first couple of years here as an organization. It's a process, and we don't have like a ton of, I think we have 298s, 398s.
Not very many.
So we're a young team, and it's going to be a process, but I think, as we kind of, gel together as a team and kind of get things figured out a little bit, we're going to be a tougher team to play against.
Division I school commitments, USHL progression, that's what you're looking for, but you had a pretty cool honor earlier this season. I got a chance to talk to head coach Tom Kowal about it last month. Jeffrey Bertrand, Samuel Velatelko, recognized by the NHL Central Scouting List.
Yeah.
They're the only East Division team to get any recognition from the NHL this early in, and you got 2 players.
Yeah.
I have to think as an assistant GM and a guy who travels around a lot to do a lot of scouting, that was kind of a prideful moment for you too.
Yeah, that's anytime you get recognized by the NHL Central Scouting, I mean, it's a great honor, and for those guys and for our organization, and it tells me that if we're going to focus on development, as an organization, I think that's a good sign, and tells me that we're doing our job right for those guys to get recognized at the highest level of hockey.
What are you doing right now? I know, like I said, you're based out of Lincoln, Nebraska, so you're traveling around a ton. So for players and even families of the players and fans of the team that don't see you, they see the other coaches here more, what are you doing on a maybe day-to-day basis? Take me through the life of an assistant GM in the North American League.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of travel, scouting different events. Seems like there's a showcase every weekend. We're obviously, just trying to find the best players available to kind of fit into our team this year. Or for next year, I mean, my focus, obviously I'm focused on this year's team, but, I'm in a unique situation where I kind of have to split my focus in between this year's team and next year's team.
Right.
I try and catch as many games as I can on Fast Hockey. I come out here to town and check in on things, but, right now, the majority of my focus is kind of, on next year's team and getting us to where we need to be next year. Tenders just came out on November 1st, so that's taken a lot of our attention as far as finding guys that we want to sign to those tenders, and so we have a strong team for next year. So
right. Well, hey, building for the future, but of course every day is a new day and an opportunity for the current Knights to win here in the 18-19 season. Hey, Justin, appreciate the time. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah,
I know it wasn't just for the interview, but
thank you.
Happy to have you.
Thank you.